Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so everything has dried overnight, so I'm really happy with the way that it's come together. The next thing I want to do is stitch around the exterior of the piece on the sewing machine, but before I want to do that, I want to attach the little tab that is going to help us close the piece. So the plan is to put some glue down this side, down this little edge, which will grip it into position, and then I can do some sewing machine stitching. So I'm just going to bring that through to there. So that should be catching underneath, and then bring this through here. So now it's tacked into position with that glue stick. So that's good. Now I want to do some additional lace over this edge just to sort of finish it. So this is the lace that we used throughout the front. So I'm thinking it will be perfect for here, being that it will just slip into position there. So I will run the sewing machine through it. I won't hand stitch this, so I'm just going to add some additional glue just so it grabs it, and then I'll probably let it sit for about 20 minutes and then I'll do the sewing machine component. So let's put that down there. I haven't yet found something to use as the tie. I haven't had a chance to go hunting, but I'm pretty sure I've got some ribbon in there. If not, we might make something. And whatever that may be, will slip into this end, and just a few little stitches will secure it. So there's no real rush to actually do that or make that decision. So I'm just turning it over to this side now. That's looking good. That's nicely secured. Okay, so now I've got a slightly wider lace because I've got a little bit more to cover this side to make it look finished. So let's get some glue down this edge as well. That's it. And then place this lace on. This just neatens it all up. Now there'd be nothing stopping you if you wanted to do more lace around the edge before the sewing machine come into position. But I think that's all I'm going to do at this stage. I'm considering putting something through the center here to denote the spine, but I can't decide. I haven't got any fabric out yet, but I am thinking about ripping a piece of something just to sit through there as a bit of a decorative element. So I need to have a think about that as well. I found this little cross stitch too, and I was wondering if I could somehow slip it in, but I don't think I need it. I might just save it and might pop up somewhere else. I had a good look over the cover and I thought maybe there was an opportunity somewhere on the front, but I just couldn't find a spot that looked like it needed it. It really feels finished to me, so we'll leave that. Now I should be able to gently fold this, but what I might do first is just mark on this top edge the markers that I have below, so that way I fold it or gently bend it where we want it to be. So that's the 7-inch, the 7-inch line. Then it was 1.5 inches. This is really just to make sure that that first bend or the first fold is where we want it to be. So the last thing you want is it to kink in a different position. Okay. So what I want to do now is, using the ruler, I'm just going to encourage that to come up like so. That way I know it's as straight as we're going to get it. That's really good. And then this one here, I will do the same. Just to give it a bit of an encouragement. That's good. Now, it doesn't mean that the spine will end up being that big, but at least it's getting a bit of a feel for where I think we will need it to be. I had another idea too for an activity, which I haven't written down. Number 11, Christmas. We could do a section where Edie could write a list of gift ideas for herself, so a letter to Santa. And she could have a second gift idea section for family members, somewhere where she can start making her lists. And then you could even then lead into memories from the day. What did they do for Christmas? So yeah, just another thought I had. So I'm now going to do a crease over here on that 7-inch. Whoops. Got so many rulers and they're all different and they're never the right one. So I'm just going to mark that, and mark that, and just give that a little encouragement to come over. But I might do it, yeah, if I do it there, it's exactly the page where we want probably a little bit more wriggle room than that. So let's reconsider that and mark it at about there. So I've just added 3/8 of an inch, just a little bit. Okay, now we'll just give that a bit of encouragement as well as it comes up. Yeah, that's great. At least now, if this flap starts getting really munched up due to the thickness of the journal, we've got this extension on that will get us there. So either way, we should get there. Okay, now I'm going to sew around this on my sewing machine, right around the perimeter, and then we will have our journal cover somewhat sorted. I need to find a tie, which shouldn't be too hard, and yeah, we're moving along. That pussycat looks crooked, so I need to just double check that before I get onto that sewing machine. I feel like he's a little bit out of plumb there, so that's a bit better. At the end of the day, it's a fabric journal, so things tend to wriggle around a little bit. It's to be expected, but we want to try and get it as straight as we can. Okay, everyone, I'm going to stop the video here. Gonna let that dry, jump on my sewing machine, whip around, and we'll be ready to, I guess, start thinking about the pages inside. Okay, I'll see you all in the next minute or two. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, I've gone around the perimeter of our journal cover with the sewing machine. I've been fiddling around with that pocket and I'm really happy with the depth, so I'm glad we made it as big as we did. So yeah, I've gone around the perimeter. I've got over to this side and I've stitched down that side like I did everywhere else. But then I come back and I did a second line of stitching so that this piece of ribbon really did catch this piece underneath, because my stitching was out here on that edge. So by doing the second line over here, a little bit internal, it's really caught this one underneath. It could technically do with another line of stitching to come down here, but I'm just going to go out a little bit with the camera. But it's fine. That there's not going to be too much of a problem. But when it was just stitched over on this far edge, it was just too flappy. Then I've stitched around our little tab and I went hunting and I found this ribbon. Now I've had this ribbon for a couple of years and I've always thought, when am I ever going to use a pink ribbon with butterflies along it? I just, yeah, I think it came in a pack that... you know, when you got a subscription to a company and they send you every month some goodies, it was in a Kaiser Craft pack, I believe. So I thought it is just perfect. So now we have our journal cover ready to go. Look at that. How girly. Pussycat's going to do a great job at securing everything. I might need to find maybe some beads or something just to get a little bit of weight on this end, or some charms. So that's something on my wish list, but we will see. Yeah, beautiful. So there's our journal cover, guys. Lovely. Now we get to start thinking about the internal pages. Okay, so I was just looking at these two envelopes and they will fit beautifully in there. Now I do have some pre-made ephemera inserts from when I was using the 6x6 pads. Now I'm wondering if there's something in there that could be brought into this project, because they've got the little pockets already. So they're in amongst my stash that potentially could be used. These keys are pretty. They would certainly work. But whether they're the right size, I just don't know. So something to consider. And there was some leftover strips to make the pockets. So that's a definite possibility. So now we can start playing with the papers. I'm finished with the stitching. Well, I will do tabs and things like that. So what will we do next? Will we work on this maybe? Will we work on that? I think we might. How are we going for time? Let's have a play with this. Let's grab out Rachel's papers. Got a little pile here. I'll put this cover away now because we won't be needing that. So let's make a flippy floppy something, even if it's not a journal, an ephemera holder as such, because they could nearly be scattered throughout the book as well, like little storage. Oh, look, I've got so many ideas, it's ridiculous. So let's just join these two together, decorate the exterior, and then we'll go from there, I think. So we've got a window. Be a shame not to use that window. We've got an envelope that could easily slide in there. How are we going to do this? Gosh, there's so many things you can do with envelopes. It's crazy to the point where do you start? They're two different size envelopes. Is that a problem? Do I have two the same? Would be better. So those two are the same, but I lose my window. Does it matter that I don't have a window? Because we can always add an envelope that does have a window to the front. Or do we cut this one down? Yeah, maybe we do that. We cut this down. That's what we'll do. Okay, let's get all of these envelopes open so that we can get some pretty paper inside. But do we need to? Because they look pretty already. This one's sealed. Probably not such an issue. They're definitely the same size. How are we going to do? Oh, look, envelopes. There's so many things you can do that. I'm going to glue that to that, which you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm going to just start with gluing that to that. I'm not sure how long I was on the video beforehand, that pre-sewing machine. I think it was about 15 minutes. I didn't take much notice. So I got a little bit of a gap for a spine. Okay. I'm thinking along the lines of having something on the front of this as a bit of a decorative element. So I might cut, just grabbing my cutter. Got so many Rachel papers printed that I just know I'm not going to know where to start. This is too many. 6 inches. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's going to be a pocket on the front, and this is going to be a pocket somewhere inside, if not, probably 2 pockets. I wonder if that will open. It will open enough. That was crooked. Let's just do this properly. Oh, I've just drunk my coffee really quickly because it was like so yummy. And now I feel like I'm having a hot flush. I can feel the caffeine buzzing through me. Not good. Okay, so there's our cover. We can open up sides, we can do all sorts of things, but at the moment I'm just going to decorate. I've got a little piece to go on the front, which will create a pocket for her. I've got some bits and pieces that can become internal pockets, and then we can stitch in pages to, you know, do whatever. So let's have a look at the papers. They would have to be too short, wouldn't they? So is there anything that's printed long ways? No, there's not. So we need to collage some bits and pieces. So need some little birdies to be looking through that window too. Will they Will they peek through if I was to make a tag out of that? Not really, like it would, but they're not quite right. Maybe this would be a better one with those little birds peek through. One would. It's not quite right. I think they're all printed on the back too, so they make fantastic pages within the journal. I really need to probably dig a little deeper into my pages that don't have printing on the back. See how these are all, I've printed them? Be a shame to use them for collaging. Okay, to the box we go. Let's see what we can find. So I have some general pages. I like that blue. What else have we got? There have to be something here. That's pretty. So we're looking for brighter sorts of colours. Don't want to get it too moody. Looks like nearly a William Morrissey sort of feel about it. That would have to be my favourite paper. Just love it. Just beautiful. I tend to use it all the time. Oh, that's very cute. Pop a pink. A lot of those, that's a favourite too. I love that blue and the pink together. Oh, there's 2 pages there. That's great. Let's get that out. The rest of these feel a little bit too dark and grungy, not little girlish. So that's good. I can eliminate a pile of paper from my desk. I have one more flip through, just to make sure. Like they're not bad. They're not bad. I definitely want to use that. Very girly girl. I'll just put them on top so that I see them. If I need them, they're there. But I'm thinking those papers are pretty much not suitable for this project. So that'll be good to get them to one side because my box is overfloweth. Now, what else have we got in here that I could use? I'm just moving everything. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, these are some scraps from when I was working on all of those journal covers. So I do have some little elements like some little birds and some little pieces of ephemera, some music paper. There's some more pieces and there's some torn down elements as well. So that pile could probably go with that pile and be torn down ready. Some more little bits and pieces, some flowers and things. We've got some music paper, that's good. Maybe I'll do a background of music paper on it. And here's some more pages. They do have printing on the back of some of them, writing paper. Oh, they'll be handy because that gives us writing paper for her. So let's get all those. Isn't that beautiful? That yellow. All right, so we can add that to the pile of papers. Lots of journal cards, lots of tags. So that's handy. So that's a heap of gluing to make elements to go inside a pocket. So let's bull clip that. That's one of those little jobs to do just to sort of set yourself up with lots of ephemera, because that is all journal cards, tags. So they need to be backed. Another job, another day. What else have we got? So we've got some more music paper. With that. I'm just doing a little bit of organising, guys. It pays off in the end. When you can just grab things. Aha. Now, this is the journal pages that don't have anything printed on the back. So that's great. I need a big bull clip for this lot. See what I mean by I've got so much printed? It's ridiculous. So we can dig into them for collaging. Now I do want to separate out of here the pieces that are ready to go into the folder, those, because they're printed on the back. So that's pages. And here is ephemera that can be used to decorate. I don't think there'll be many of these little ladies go into this journal, but you never know. These I have more in mind to go on the front of the charity journals. I needed some images that I could use as a feature piece on all of those 20 journals. So that's sort of why I bought that kit. But if we need a lady, we've got it. So I'll just add it to the pile. Let me just come up a bit with the camera, guys, so you can see the mess I'm making. Now, this is all tags. Yep, that's tags. So that can be added to this need to back pile. As you know, I like to get all my tags and journal cards all backed, stitched and sitting. That's all envelopes then. More tags. These tags are going to be more suitable. See how they're a bit brighter? I think they're going to be the first ones we will gravitate to. I think, yeah, they'll be a lot more suitable. Got to keep it bright and fresh. We can't be too grungy, moody colours. And then these are more pockets and envelopes, and some of them in here are the bright, fresh sort of feel. So all right. So I'm going to add that to there and just and that into there. Okay. So we've got a lot of gluing to do with that pile, which is fine. We've got pages printed ready to go into the journal. We've got some more ephemera type decorating elements. Not a lot, but there's a few bits and pieces there that we might be able to sneak in, which I'm going to just add to these. We might rip them down actually, and then, because I tend to group them. So that's flowers. This is just collaging papers. I like to be organised. So let's just rip this down a little bit. That could be backed, where this is more fodder. ourselves a little bit organised. Oops. That's so pretty. They make great journal cards, so I'm going to put them in the... Does it really matter? Probably not. It's predominantly birds. This one is the flowers. Need a bigger paper clip, ball clip. Just try my best to get a little bit organised, because I find if the paper gets out of control on my desk, I don't know, I start to get a little bit stressed about it all. So I find if I can at least get my elements, I'm going to leave them in amongst there because I'm not 100% sure what they'll end up being used for. So just going to... might break that down into 2 piles. It need not be as big. Lots of little flowers and bits and pieces. And some of these little elements we can tuck into pockets for Edie to play with. Like, look at those irises. I love that. Such a pretty image. Okay. So we've got some little decorating elements. We've got some scraps of paper already. There's our envelopes. We've got pages that we can pull from that are not printed. That's great. A few French ladies kicking around, or Italian ladies. Some paper and some paper. All right. Feels like I've got some organisation and a bit of a to-do list for journal cards and some papers to go in the journal. Alrighty. What will we do next? Let's tear down these so they're ready to go. It's probably a bit boring for you, but it'll pay off in the end if I can just grab things. So I'm just going to rip down all of these pages. It gives me that nice decal edge ready to go. That's a favourite. I think I mentioned that, didn't I? And I'm looking in the box down there, and there's even more stuff down there. So we got plenty to play with. Now this next piece of paper coming is probably suitable for the background because of the way it's printed. It's not landscape. Okay, let me get a little bit closer. Make sure I'm on camera. This one here might be good for the background. Yeah, great. Okay, let's just rip him down. And we can use that. We are making progress. Oops. Perfect design. We've got the portrait size of the printing. Or do we use that one? Let's have a look. Maybe that's a little bit moody. Well, not really. Let's grab that cover again. So it'd be that one in there, or that one. I'm thinking along the lines of this one, to be honest. Okay, let's just do it. We have a front cover. Will it go all the way? Of course it won't, but it will come very close. So let's just rip this one down. At the end of the day, it's going to be covered by a pocket to some degree. So it's not, you know, will I get, no. I'm just thinking, if I tear this in half and then put a piece through there of fabric, I've just given us a cover that potentially, sorry guys, I'm just thinking out aloud here. I'm thinking I'm going to tear this in half. Will I? Will I not? I will. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to use this one piece of paper to get me 2 pieces of paper. That will cover our book. All right, let's get some glue happening here. There we go. Lovely. So that's the start of something. We've got a little bit organised. We've got our seam around the outer edge of our journal cover. It's looking great. We found a tie that's suitable, and I think that corded ribbon will hold up too to little hands. There we go. Now I want to reinforce that a little bit. So we might actually put a strip of calico down there actually. Nothing better than fabric to you know, stabilize the spine. Guys, can't see any. How can I not have calico handy, ready to rip into a shape? Let me have a little rummage. I can see bits like this, but they're just not wide enough. How is this the case? Here's my big roll. Let's have a little look. Oh, perfect height. What sort of width do we need? We need about that. And down to that fold would be pretty close. Okay. It's rainy, drizzly here today, so everything is just not drying as good as it could. That's pretty good. Like I can feel that paper is buckly. Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. It was a bit of an abrupt finish and cut. I was busy doing my thing here and suddenly all hell broke loose in the backyard. Pepper and Bandit had a bit of a dust up. I've cut the sound of the squealing and barking out because it was just obnoxious. So they've had another little bit of a dust up, and I think it was Pepper squealing as if she was in pain. So she's been standing over Bandit for the last week and he is taking it, but I have a feeling he's going to stop taking it, and he may have given her a good chomp. All I saw was two dogs interlocked, standing on their back legs, going for it, and a lot of squealing. So I'm not 100% sure which dog it was that was doing the squealing, but someone had hold of someone. I've had a good look at them. There's no blood or any broken skin or no chunks of fur. I just have a feeling it might have been someone standing up for himself. I think Bandit's nearly 7 months now. Pepper's 2. She thinks she's the matriarch. And I think Bandit is going to say one day very soon, you are not the boss. And it may end in tears because she's thinking she's the head girl. I'm just going to trim this little envelope back a bit. I don't need to open it, but I do need to insert something that's going to allow it to flip and flop. I'm going to take a little bit more off of it. I've only got about 10 minutes left of footage that we can do for this video, so I will have to mosey on. But we can fill our time very easily because there's so much to do. Yeah, that's better. And what I might do is add a piece of paper. Probably prefer something a little bit firmer than, where's that, this piece here. Sort of want something that's going to give us a good hinge. Yeah, I think we'll... There's Pepper at the window. They're both standing there looking at me as if nothing happened. Like, you know, gosh, I'm thinking there's a major incident. And they're looking at me going, hi, Mum, what's happening? If only humans could forget their gripes that quickly. Don't you reckon? Wouldn't it be quick and easy then? We'd have a dispute and then it'd be all done. I'm just making a little hinge here at the moment. Ah, puppy dogs. Gosh, imagine having a heap of dogs. I've only got 2. I've got some friends that are on property and they have quite a few, and I said that constantly there's biffos in the pack of dogs sort of letting other dogs know that they're the boss, and couldn't imagine. Okay, so that's just going to be put in there as part of a hinging system. So I can glue that down, I believe. And then it'll be ready to add to the front cover. There we go. that can be attached to there, and that will swing nicely. So we might see if we've got some pretty paper that can slide in there to back that. What have we got in the way of scraps? That's not big enough. That stripe would be nice. Oh, whoops. It may not be big enough now that I've torn it. Let's see if we've got enough paper there to use the stripe. Oh, goodness me. Wouldn't that just bug you? I can probably repair that. But you don't want the journal card catching, so you've got to be really sure. I think it will be okay, so I'm going to use it, and then that will probably end it for us. I put plenty of glue, should be fine. And I might bend it over the top just to reinforce that a little bit so it slides in nicely. It won't catch on that. So let's put some glue down. So this is just the little stripy bit you'd see on the inside once the tag has been removed. Some backing paper. Hopefully that will repair okay and not interfere with the tag. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then we might just fold that over the back, just as a little bit of extra strength at the back of that envelope. I really need to find a glue book too. I'm getting a bit crazy here. I'm making my mat all sticky, so I need to take care of that. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Where's my burnishing tool? Just want to make sure all of that catches. It's nice and flat. So that will now close. Yep. I can collage around that outer edge. I'll leave it open for a moment, and then I can fold over there as well with the paper that I collage with. I'll just put that on there. It's perfect size. It'll fold over. Okay, we're going again. Just when you thought I'd finished, I'm going to use this little stripe, like a good stripe. It comes up nicely on that edge. And it will fold over nicely. All right, I think we've exhausted our time frame. Those dogs are now sitting at the window, sleeping on each other. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to survive adolescence of two dogs. They play so rough. Bandit being so young, he's just rough, and she is very active, so she's like all in, no problems. Oh, goodness me. It's going to be the death of me. All right, let's have a look at our little envelope. Journal is coming along, so a little bit more collaging. I can then join that together. I might do a little bit of stitching on the sewing machine. It'd be lovely to have a little bit of stitching. So, okay, all right, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.